With the latest update, Terry Bogard is going to be joining Street Fighter 6 this fall, and this newly released Storm Collectibles reissue Terry Bogard, those two make for a great M.A.R.S nature review. So, let's get into it by taking the figure out of the packaging. Having the figure out of the packaging, the one thing that strikes me first is going to be the effect pieces, because these effect pieces over here are totally awesome, very detailed, and I'm so glad we're getting that with this figure. Now, I don't know the name of these effects or the attacks, but still plenty of accessories for Terry, and I do enjoy that a lot. Now, you are going to be getting an additional vest as well, including the one that the figure comes with. So I think that's always great when they have these backups, just in case, disaster happens. Now, you are going to be getting 4 additional ponytails as well, 4 head sculpts, which I'm a huge fan of, and then 5 pairs of hands. So far, looking pretty damn good. Now, let's take the figure out of the plastic. Heading into the size comparison, on the right we have the Marvel Legends Deadpool, and then here on the left we have the Storm Collectibles Rio. Just did a review on him, make sure you check that out. Awesome review, awesome figure. But as you can see, the Storm Collectibles are always, for the most part, going to tower the Marvel Legend figures. The same for SH Figure Arts, should I have brought one of those as well. But with that out of the way, let's bring this figure in and have a closer look. So just looking at the overall aesthetic of this figure, I do enjoy it. I like how it's so simplistic, just the jeans with a vest, and it is very like Street Fighter-esque in a sense. Not as in like Street Fighter, like the actual IP from Capcom, but I'm just saying, like, if someone was gonna be in a street fight back in the 90s, this is what they're wearing. So I do like that, and as I've said before, I really enjoy the character designs for King of Fighters. They just look really awesome. I like the hairpiece here. Now, I'm not sure how this compares to the original release because I haven't reviewed or even had the original release. I will say here that with Storm Collectibles, some occasions you're going to encounter things like this. This is the correct look. However, on the other side, we've got this sleeve that is kind of pushed deep in there. So that's just one thing to keep in mind as well. It's an easy fix, really. Nothing too excruciating when trying to deal with that. But overall, I really enjoy the aesthetic of this figure. Presentation-wise, I don't see where Storm Collectibles could have messed up on this. Now, let's go ahead and get into the articulation. So, this figure can look up this much. And I do want to believe that Storm Collectibles probably did a little bit of tweaking with their articulation, just so that we can have something more modern and up to Storm Collectibles standards. Here we go here. He can look down this much. He can lean side to side. T-pose, no issue. Of course, double jointed, but because of the muscle definition, it's going to look or appear like it's single jointed. Definitely limited. And then as we get down into here, you have your butterfly joints as well. Looking good. And again, the muscle sculpture from Storm Collectibles is always incredible. So let's go ahead and put this back in. Now I'm seeing where or why we're getting additional ones, just in case something happens to this one. We have some backups. All right, now let's get into the torso. It looks pretty good. Ay, hold on. All right, you have to be careful there. So he can tuck in this much. Lean back this much, and of course twist, making for some great dynamic posing. Here at the waist, same as well. Now with the legs, I don't know if you noticed earlier on in the review here, it looks like they might be a little tight. So let's see, he can hit that 90-degree no issue. Yeah, definitely at the knees is a little tight here. Again, double jointed knees, but because of just how large the portions are, it's going to come off as single or limited. Now, great range of motion here for the leg. Let's see, then we have the soft plastic here at the groin. Split, no issue there. Let's see, there you go. And I like how the groin is soft, even though it kind of looks strange, just so you can get those poses. And now for the feet, let's see, they don't extend out very much. They do lean forward and backwards. You do have some ankle rocker movement as well. And then of course you have your toe pivot. So articulation for this figure is pretty good. I can see where Storm Collectibles, because this figure has been out since what, 17, maybe 19, something like that. It's been over 3 years, I know that much. They've got some things to go with. They did a great job then, they did a great job now, and they're steadily improving. All right, with that out of the way, let's now get into the face, head sculpts, pairs of hands, accessories, and so on. To kick off the head sculpts, we have our neutral looking head sculpt for Terry. It looks good. I do like the hat and just the detailing and things like that. They just did a great job. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Next up, we have his smirking head sculpt, looking good. And the one thing you're going to notice about these head sculpts is that it's going to go from like stern, smiling to aggressive. I think that's great that we're getting those expressions with this figure. As you can see with this head sculpt, we're getting a little bit more aggressive, more expression coming from the figure, looking great. And then lastly, we have his aggressive yelling head sculpt, looking damn good. Really impressed by Storm Collectibles with their figures. And now let's move into the pairs of hands. Again, we're going to be getting a total of 5 pairs of hands, which I think is the appropriate amount for the perfect Terry figure. We have our closed fists, our fighting hands, blocking hands, open hands, and then some like freestyling hands. All of these hands look great. Loving the blue gloves. And yeah, I mean, what more could you ask for this Terry Bogard? Now let's move into the special effects. All right, to kick off the effects, we're gonna start off with this blue one here. It looks pretty cool. Again, I do apologize, I don't know these names, but definitely a cool effect. For me, I think this is kind of a universal effect. You could definitely use this as a Chidori and any other kind of blue effect or attack out there. Obviously Terry as well. And then to put this on, you just basically do this. You know, it's not that tough. Here, let me pose him up real quick. And then just like that. So it works perfectly. It fits in there perfectly for Terry, and yeah, it looks good. Okay. And then next up we have this attack as well. Again, not quite sure the name of these attacks, but this is pretty much like a ground pound from what I'm understanding. So you would just have them, let's see, okay, similar to this. Something like that, right? And then you would have him attack. Not the best posing on this one, bear with me. And then the enhanced version of this attack is this guy right here. And then yeah, so that's pretty much how that would work for Terry. Again, super cool, very detailed. And this is something that can be used for other figures and things like that. I could see this being like from Demon Slayer, Zenitsu, like his electricity or just any kind of thing like that, right? So that's why it's pretty cool that Storm Collectibles add these effect pieces, because they're not just for the figures, they're not just for the characters, they can be used anywhere else. Oh, hold on. Got a little jumping spider on the camera. And you know, while I'm here, the same goes for this as well. With this, you could definitely use this as, hold on, got a little bug in there, a little critter. You can definitely use this as like a Kamehameha attack. And you can actually take this apart like this. All right, so there's a little bonus you didn't get, wasn't expecting probably. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and move into the conclusion. To conclude this review, I want to start off by saying I am glad Storm Collectibles has done a reissue. That makes me have hope that in the future, all of those figures from years past, we may get a re-release eventually. Definitely from the King of Fighter line. Hopefully we get the KO re-release, because I definitely want to do a review on that figure as well. And above all, let's not forget, Terry is coming to Street Fighter 6. This is huge news, very shocking. Something like this hasn't been done in years, you know, so there is some hype surrounding this character again, and that is why mainly I'm doing this review. But I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the natural setting. No pictures on this one for today, unfortunately. have some spiders and stuff walking around. I have arachnophobia. Yeah, so we're gonna wrap this review up. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget, Terry is coming to Street Fighter 6. Make sure you check out my latest review, and we will see you all next time. Have a good one. Peace.